It's Thursday, the 23rd of March. Philip puts foot in mouth. Is he the new Fergie? Barlow gets the chop, and the spuds, and the gravy. Blair puts Europe online. They rock. Please welcome the man who's a sight for sore eyes, Mr. Iain Lee.
And welcome to the 11 o'clock show. Is it just me, or do you find the internet a bit like a commuter train? Difficult to get on, and when you do, it's slow and likely to crash at any time. That's the first joke. Count them as they come. But not by the laughter. Tony Blair says we're falling behind the Yanks in the e-commerce race. Even the Greeks have got better porn sites than us, right? This is true. I found one the other day. It was called Shaven Ladies. Brilliant. Amazing. Greek women without moustaches. Fantastic. Hey, it's no wonder the Yanks are laughing at us. They've got multi-billionaire genius Bill Gates. We've got Clive Sinclair and Trevor Bayliss, who invents clockwork things. This is true, he's even invented a clockwork computer. No good for accessing porn sites, mind you, because you can't wank and wind at the same time. Oh, yes, you can! Brilliant. On the upside... My mum's so proud of me. On the upside, even 8-year-old children are becoming .com millionaires. Incredibly, one was arrested the other day after police discovered, wait for it, pictures of Gary Glitter on his hard drive. Topical. At least the 11 o'clock show is leading the way with its new website. This is true. Just type www.channel4.com/11ocs. Easy to remember. Or, if you can't remember that, use the search engine and type in the keywords shipment, felt or cock. You'll find it straight away. It's an interesting mix of political debate, satire and knob gags. It's actually just knob gags, but we love it. But, lads, there is a special treat for you. There are some very revealing photos of a certain sexy 11 o'clock show presenter. Although, I must say, in my defence, it was very cold when they took those pictures, and they're not real animals, all right? But enough of this. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the girl we'd all like to net, Miss Daisy Donovan. Just remember in the 80s. Daisy, what's on your mind?
Words, Iain, words. According to psychologists, men prefer women with large vocabularies. And it's absolutely true. All ladies know the killer phrase, due to hitherto unforeseen circumstances, notwithstanding my previous aversion, and with reference to my present inebriation, I intend to osculate you, which means, after 2 bottles of Blue Nun, I'll see you round the back of the bins.
In your dreams, Daisy, in your dreams.
I'll tell you, Iain, before you ask, what's on tonight's show? Geoffrey Ross brings us the tension in Tinseltown as Oscar fever takes over, and Albert Square's sexpot Michael Greco will be washing our ears out with soap.
And I'll be finding out what it takes to embarrass the British public. Ooh.
Now it's time for the headlines. Tonight's top stories.
With Chris Evans donating £200,000 to his campaign, experts say that Ken Livingstone is now just 1 letter away from having a cult following.
Slimmers groups were outraged today when secret footage revealed how Vanessa Feltz really lost all that weight. Record company RCA announced that they were dropping Gary Barlow. A spokesman for Gary admitted his typing skills just weren't up to scratch.
Following his admission to a nursing home with arthritis, DJ Alan Freeman has been asked to leave after running an illegal disco for the residents.
With the release of the new transit van, designers have announced that its capacity has been increased to 50 cubic feet. In layman's terms, that's 15 illegal immigrants.
3 people have come forward tonight claiming to have found the key to Anne Widdecombe's chastity belt. Now, very exciting moment. Daisy, please, can we hear the nominations for tonight's Oscar Reporter, please?
Sure, Iain. The nominations are Kevin Costner, Danny DeVito, Robin Cousins, Geoffrey Ross.
Oh, God, I hope Ross wins. I'm such a big fan of his work.
And the winner is Geoffrey Ross.
Oh,
Let's
skills.
see him in action.
Yeah.
Hello again, everybody. This is Jeffrey Ross reporting from outside the Shrine Auditorium in Hollywood, California, where the 72nd Annual Academy Awards are on the verge of taking place. The entire film industry and the entire cocaine industry have descended upon LA for the festivities. This year's nominated films have a lot of hard-to-swallow premises. A death row faith healer, a kid who sees dead people, and Michael Caine pretending to be an American. The category everybody's got their eye on, Best Supporting Actor. My pick from The Sixth Sense, 32-year-old midget actor Haley Joel Osment. He says he sees dead people, which means he'll be the only one at the Oscars who can see Stanley Kubrick. If Haley Joel wins, he'll be the shortest Oscar winner since Al Pacino. My pick in the Best Actor category, Richard Farnsworth, who at 79 could be the oldest Oscar winner ever. At the nominees luncheon, I asked Richard how he would feel about winning an Oscar so late in his career. He said it would be like the icing on the cake. And then he fell asleep, smashing his head into the icing in his cake. My pick for Best Picture is definitely not The Green Mile, a sad movie about inmates waiting for the electric chair that lasts 4 hours. Halfway through, I yelled out, "Me next." Michael Clark Duncan plays a death row faith healer who's just a little bit more retarded than Forrest Gump. Green Mile isn't half as bad as the slow torture that Matt Damon and Jude Law churned out in The Talented Mr. Running Time. My vote for the most boring movie of the year. My fucking chair fell asleep. Once again, actor Michael Keaton will not be attending this year's Oscars because he is not a good actor. Robert Downey Jr. won't be there either. He's in jail or rehab or both. This poor guy's been in and out of Betty Ford more times than Gerald Ford. New old guy Michael Douglas will be attending this year's Oscars with his pregnant daughter, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Not expected to attend, however, is perhaps America's greatest actor, Robert De Niro, who is having his pancreas removed for an upcoming role. Man, does he commit. As for me, I already have a prediction for next year's Oscars. I think Titanic is going to come back and win again. They've had some time off, they've regrouped as a team, and you can never rule out DiCaprio. For the 11 o'clock show, I'm Jeffrey Ross, reporting from California, where it's always sunny, but it still kind of sucks.
If you want to know the truth, there's only one place you can get it, from the mouth of the common man.
Here with the word on the street, please welcome Reading's answer to Huggy Bear, Ricky Dean Gervais. Here comes trouble.
You're right.
Rock up your
Ricky.
sons, it's Ricky Gervais.
Well,
Ricky Dean.
Well, today, right, we launched our official website, which you've already heard about, the 11 o'clock show website, and the producer wanted me to come on and tell you all about it. He even said I could do a bit longer than usual. He didn't actually use those words. What he actually said was he'd like to expand my slot. But he's a funny bloke. Does he touch you as well?
Filth in there straight away. I love it.
He is, he's weird. Everyone I know thinks Ian's like a smug, wimpy twat, right? But no, but at least he's like that in real life as well. Because Daisy, look, she's sitting all demure and lovely. You see her about 11 in the morning in the office, stomping around with a special brew, trying to get someone fired because her bread pudding was cold. And she does this awful thing when she comes in, and she goes, a dustman's blow.
It's not a dustman's blow, it's this.
And then she goes to the runner, clean it up, bitch. You can check out the web, quite seriously, on www.channel4.com/11OCS, 11 o'clock show. So, but what I want to talk about is true stories. They're obviously urban myths, like, you know, it happened to them. I'll tell you one that's on here, right, that you'd have been told by a friend, and I'll tell it like it's always told. My mate, right, he was having a wank, yeah, and he was naked on his bed, and he had a Walkman on, and his eyes shut, and he came and finished and split all over it. And then he opened his eyes, and he see his mum has been in and left a cup of tea and some biscuits. That didn't happen, did it? Let's look at that. So she's come up the stairs. Oh, he can't hear me. Let's have a look why. It's because he's wanking like a monkey. Bless him. I know what I do. I leave this tea so he knows his mum had come in and see him come. That won't be disturbing. So
Give me a semi telling me.
Exactly, yeah.
Very erotic.
And then he wakes up and goes, oh, Mum saw me wanking. I hope I don't tell anyone. And I've got some actual facts off. This is my favourite fact. Well, I'll go soon, but this is my favourite fact of all time, right? Montana mountain goats will sometimes butt heads so hard that their hooves fall off. So, right, ready? That bird's mine. Now I'll fight you for it. Fuck. Are you all right? Yeah, I've got a bit of a headache. Oh, do I win then? No, you don't win, do you? Did you know about this? Well, I had no idea. I've lost my fucking feet. Someone should have told us. I've got one more.
One more
sorry.
We'll move on quickly.
Polar bears put one paw over their nose when hunting to be completely camouflaged.
You made that up.
That's true.
That is rubbish.
It's true. It's true. It's absolutely true. You see a polar bear, it's like that, right? It does that, right? But I want to know how they knew. They must have been all sitting around one day and they're going, I'm fucking starving. Crept up on a rabbit, ran away. Why? I just can't think. And the rabbit goes, I can tell you. They go, can you see us? Well, I can see how many there are of you. I say, how? He goes, you'll kick yourself. Go on. Rabbit goes, it's your nose. They go, it's the nose. It's black. Can you see us now? No. Right.
There's your Ricky Gervais. Stay there. Yes,
Iain.
Yes, Daisy.
When was the last time you got embarrassed?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, actually, because it was yesterday when I realised I've been walking around town with my flies undone.
Well, no, but everybody does that.
Yeah, but I only found out when I poked a midget in the cheek, so...
And to find out what makes you embarrassed, Iain did his zip up and hit the streets.
This week's budget saw Gordon Brown slashing the tax on women's sanitary products, but then being too red-faced to talk about it himself and instead palming the job off on his female deputy. But are we right to be embarrassed by taboos, or should we just let it all hang out? I've come here to London to find out. Let's see what we've got. Find something really embarrassing. OK, we've got some books, we've got a folder, we've got a packet of Preparation H, relieves hemorrhoids and piles, eases pain and itching, clinically proven effectiveness. So you've got a sore arse, have you?
Yeah, well, you know.
Do you ever get embarrassed by other men queering you up?
Again, they'd be put down before they got anywhere.
Oh, would they really? How would you put them down? Come here, cowboy. Come here, cowboy. Come on, let me feel your buttocks. Let me feel your buttocks. Come on, let me touch your breasts. Come on, give us a kiss. Come on. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done, would you say?
Shit myself.
When did you do that?
In the pub there.
Why?
I was too drunk.
I was so drunk that your bowels just gave up and just released and you were full of, your pants full of shit.
Completely.
How many times have you done that?
Twice.
This has been Iain Lee, the 11 o'clock show, London.
Fans, that's it for part one. Still to come in part two, EastEnders Italian stallion Michael Greco.
But straight after the break, we've got classic clips of a couple doing it for free in front of a huge crowd. Don't miss it.
...1984, and Britain rules the ice. Jane Torval and Christopher Dean take gold in Ottawa. But there's just one question on everyone's lips. Are they screwing? Do they own their own skates? Is he gay? The answer to one of those questions is yes. It's bloody obvious.
That was 16 years ago today. Welcome back to the 11 o'clock show on Thursday the 23rd of March. Coming up, Danny Boy previews the boat race.
But first, here's another look at today's headline news.
Catholic Church to attract British youth, they now pray to Snoop Goddy God.
Survey says Essex girls eat the most meat. They needed a survey.
Prince Philip cocks up down under. Queen says, "Way!" Daisy, please, very quickly, tell us about tonight's guest.
He's the latest Walford womaniser, following in the footsteps of Dirty Den, Tricky Dicky and Allotment Arthur. As one of the DeMarcos, he's made pizzas, pasta and passes at Tiffany, Sam and Nina. Who's next? Willard? He's the soap star who gets the ladies in a lather. Please welcome Michael Greco.
Thank you very much for coming. Lovely
Can I
to
just
meet you.
put the record straight? Bepe's not having an affair with Willard, all right?
All right.
OK, sorry.
Already?
My
we've
mistake.
got anger already. I don't shit. Now, EastEnders has made you a big star, but what was it like when you first started, having to work alongside such legends as Mike Runaround Reid and Babs Windsor? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was, because I'm a big Carry On fan, and just meeting Barbara was very nerve-wracking.
Now that Grant's left, what's it like being the Romeo of Albert Square?
I'm not the Romeo.
Yes, you are, Michael. You're very good-looking, man.
They do love you.
I don't know, I just... Beppe is the Romeo, I suppose, but I don't see myself as a Romeo.
You look very much like Beppe, it's got to be said. Very similar.
I talk like him as well.
You are the new heartthrob, and you also have to be a bit of a hard man. Who would Beppe love to slap from the square?
Iain Bill's got to be...
Now, EastEnders has got 15 million viewers, and I'm sure some of them are in our audience tonight, Michael. So, has anybody got a question?
Hands up, let's have a look. Oh, loads of people.
Oh, look, yes. Oh, I love that little guy there with his hand sparkling, yeah.
Soap stars are always turning to drugs and booze. What's so stressful about being a soap star?
Why? How do you know soap stars are turning to drugs and booze?
We read about it, don't we?
So that
You're all on
everything you
it.
read is true,
Oh,
is
don't
it?
have a go at him, man. It's not worth it. Seriously, it's not worth it.
I'm camouflaging myself now. That polar bear story?
Oh, yeah.
Taxi!
But is it stressful? Because you do hear people turn to drugs and booze and stuff.
Depends on the individual, I suppose, doesn't it? It's not just... Well, I mean, I've never read anything about soap stars, but it happens all over the world, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well. We've got another question from the audience. Not the Cheggers look-alike. We'll have the young lady there in the pink with the long hair. Have you got a question?
Why are the rest of your soap family being killed off?
Yeah, your family being killed off in EastEnders.
I don't think they're being killed off. I think it is true that they are leaving. I really don't know. I really don't know. It's just one of those decisions. I mean, I suppose characters come and go. They have been for the last 15 years. And I suppose the producers have just thought it's time for some new characters to go and new characters to come. And I really don't know why they've been told to go, because I thought the family was doing really well. I thought it was a really good family.
What about your soap mum? Do you know who's going to replace her? Maybe Dickie Davis or something.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Is that the guy who used to do World of Sport?
Yeah.
He's
He's the right guy for the job.
You must get fed up with tabloids gossiping about your life and girlfriends, so we've devised a simple questionnaire just to set the record straight once and for all, OK? Cool. Answer the questions truthfully, we'll send it to the tabloids and they will never bother you again, I promise.
What about your love life? Any truth in the rumours with the following? Honest answers, please. Danny Bear.
Fourth.
Lisa Faulkner.
Fourth.
Pam St Clement.
True.
Who's going to be next?
Willard.
Lovely. Next tabloid rumour, you're going to leave the soap and become a pop star. Anything in that?
Absolute rubbish.
But you liked it though, wouldn't you?
No. Definitely not.
You've got a sexy voice.
Have I?
Yeah. Oh, I was just telling you that.
Is there any truth in the story that when you heard that Sid Owen was going to start in Spielberg's new project, you said, is it a sequel to E.T.?
It's absolute rumour.
OK, fantastic. Is it going well so far? OK, what's next for you? Are you going to stay in EastEnders forever, or is it got plans?
I don't know. I mean, obviously my family are going soon, so I don't know what they've got in store for me. I'm going to be on my own.
Well, how about if when you leave EastEnders, what about playing a down-on-your-luck Geordie builder, or maybe an overweight security guard who gets shot? Would that interest you, do you think?
Who's that?
You're not saying. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Greco. They say that in this life, good things come to those who wait. At least that's what Sting tells his wife. So let's find out whose time has come and who's waiting in vain with this week's brilliant Good News, Bad News.
Good news.
Vanessa Feltz has found love with the man who plays the honey monster. Bad news.
Trisha's been caught in a gangbang with Snap, Crackle and Pop.
Good news.
The family of Dr. Shipman are moving house to be nearer to him. Bad news.
Great Granny Shipman's shitting herself.
Good news.
Experiments have proved that pets really do look like their owners. Bad news.
For Dean Gaffney's dog.
Bad news.
Up to 200 homeless people are living at Heathrow Airport. Good news.
If they shuffle up close to a family, they can pretend for a very brief moment they're going to Spain.
Good news.
Scientists have discovered that men's fertility levels double when they spend time away from their partners. Bad news.
Richard Madeley must be a Jaffa.
Good news.
A plucky couple are bearing all by living in a window of a department store. Bad news.
For the cleaner who misunderstood when he was asked to clean the window box. Bad news.
Gary Barlow has been dropped by his record company. Good news.
It was out of a window.
Bad news.
A man trapped under a car failed to free himself when he tried to saw off his arms with a Swiss Army penknife. Good news.
He did manage to open a bottle of wine, file his nails and clean the hooves of a passing horse.
Good news.
To cheer up inmates, high-security mental hospital Rampton has been holding discos for gay psychopaths. Bad news.
For the bouncer who ended up being beaten and bummed to the toe-tapping sound of Uptown Girl.
And that was this week's Good News, Bad News.
Daisy.
What, Ian?
The varsity match, Ladies' Day at Ascot, the Oxford and Cambridge boat race. What have they all got in common?
Do they embody the centuries of British sporting tradition?
No, they're all full of jazzed-up Charlies going... And with the boat race this weekend, here's Danny Boy with his preview.
The boat race. It's a fetishist's dream. 8 grown men in gym kits being shouted at by a dwarf. This Saturday, literally tens of people will tune in to see the shittest thing on water since the River of Fire. The tension is frankly bearable as Oxford and Cambridge prepare to battle head-to-head for the prize of Smuggest Toff of the Year award. It's the sporting event that traditionally attracts a certain calibre of people, namely the rich, the seriously rich and the dangerously inbred. But organisers hope this year cheap drink and earlier pub opening hours will draw interest from other walks of life.
Cambridge! Come on! Come on!
Sadly, a massive police presence is expected here on Saturday to prevent a repeat of last year's infamous Oxbridge riots. Nearly 11 people suffered Chinese burns, a further 4 got detention and 6 were grounded for a week. Whatever the outcome, tradition dictates the winners will celebrate by dunking their cocks into water. For the losers, it's just a regular pint of lager. With just 48 hours to go before the 2 boats literally go up this river, the big questions still remain. Who will win? Oxford or Cambridge? And more to the point, who gives a shit? This is Danny Boy for the 11 o'clock show, The Thames.
Well, Late Night Laughter fans, that's nearly all from tonight's show.
Oh, no. But before we go, the Pope took time out today to wow the crowds in Bethlehem with a rendition of a sea shanty on the mouth organ.
Wait. Before you damn us as callous and uncaring, please take a moment to consider this special charity message. Then decide. Good night.
Hello. Imagine your own grandma. It's snowing and she's out in her tiny back garden all night, barefoot, ploughing her meagre flower bed for a few grains of corn just to raise enough money for a scratch card. Sick, isn't it? You know, it needn't happen. Please, please send us some money now. Have a heart. Your own grandma. Come on, don't be a cunt.